Okay, today's story is called The Aged Mother. The aged means old. Okay, somebody is aged. Aged woman means old woman, like 70, 80, 90 years old woman. Anyway, this is about a mother who is very, very sad because she lost many people. Lose means people die, and so she loses people. Anyway, long time ago, many years ago, in Germany, in a large town, big city, large town like Osaka or Kobe or Nagoya, but in Germany it could have been München or Düsseldorf or Hamburg. Anyway, in a large town, an old woman lived. She was an aged mother, means old woman, old mother. She was very sad because, first of all, when she was young, she lost her husband. Lost her husband means her husband died. She lost her husband. And then she lost two of her children. She had two little boys, but the boys were maybe like 5 years old and 7 years old, but the boys died. Both of them died. Both means two of them. Both of them died. And then one by one means one after another, she lost all her relations. Relations means you have a family like your mother and father and brother and sister, but then you've got a grandmother and grandfather, uncle and aunt and cousins. Those are relations. It's not a real central family, but some other people in a bigger circle of family. And so she lost one by one, she lost all her relations. That means she lost her uncle, she lost her aunt, she lost her cousins, and she lost all the other people in the relatives. Anyway, she lost one by one, she lost all her relatives, and then finally she lost her last friend. Maybe she had 20 friends, but then one by one her friends died too, and so she lost her last friend. Oh, she was so sad. She was very alone. She was alone, she was very sad, and she felt quite alone one night. She felt very desolate. Desolate means very alone. Anyway, she was thinking about the old days, and the evening came, but she didn't think about it. The sun went down and the room was very dark, but she was sitting in the chair and she was thinking about the people who died in the past. Anyway, she was thinking and she thought, God is not very good. God took everybody from her, and she was very sad, but the saddest thing was that she lost two of her children when the children was still small, and she blamed God for it. She said, God is it's God's fault that my children died, and so she was unhappy with what God did to the two children. And then when she was thinking and being sad, she heard a church bell ring. The church bell was ringing, ding dong, and she thought, oh my goodness, it's already the meeting time for prayer. So she got up and she lighted a lantern. Lantern is like you've got in Japan you have a round thing that you carry at night because there is no light outside. So she lit a lantern and she carried the lantern and she went to the church. She came to the church. She arrived at the church, and the church was lit. The church that had light on already inside, but when she went inside, the light was not made by the wax candles. Usually they had candles which were lit, but this time they were the light it was given. The room was light, but then it was not because of the candles. It was not very light. It was just a dim light. Not very light, not very dark, but it was a little bit of light around. And then when she went inside and she looked, the room was full of lots of people were already there, and every seat was taken. Every seat was filled. And she looked and looked, and it was very crowded. Crowded means many, many people were in that church, crowded. And so she looked at the people, and she wanted to know who were there. When she looked at the people's faces, oh no, she was very surprised, because they were her dead relations. Dead relations means the relatives the relatives who died before. So these were ghosts, dead people, sitting there. They were dressed in a very old-fashioned garments. Garments means dresses. They were dressed in a very old-fashioned dresses, and their faces were blue and white. Their faces were white, pale. Pale means blue and white. Their faces were pale. They did not speak. They did not sing. They neither spoke nor sang. They didn't speak. They didn't sang. But she could hear some humming. She could hear some humming, and she also heard somebody was whispering. She could hear whispering and humming in the room. And she thought, wow, what is this? And then suddenly, one woman stood up. That was her deceased aunt. Deceased means dead. That was a deceased aunt, and the deceased aunt came to her and said, look there. Look there means look over there. So this aged mother looked there, looked over there where the old aunt said, look. It was beside the altar. Altar is a table where in the church they have wines and bread for communion. But anyway, there was an altar, it's a table. And she looked beside, means next to the altar. And then there, the old aged woman, aged mother saw two of her children. But these children were not small anymore, they were young men already. And one boy, one of her sons, was hanged on the gallows. Hanged means, gallows means the place where people get killed. You know, when you do something bad, people kill you. Not people, but the government kills you. He was hanged on the gallows because he was a criminal. And the other boy was bound to the wheel. Bound means tied to wheels. Wheel is like a tire, tires of a car. So he was bound to the wheels. That means these two boys were, or when they were big people, big adults, men, they were bad people, criminals. And so the aunt said, you blame God for your children's death when they were small, but if your children had grown up to be 21, 25, they would have become very bad people. So God took care of you, took care of your future troubles. It was good that your children died when they were still little innocent boys. Innocent means good and no bad things, no sins. So the woman looked at those two men who were her sons, and she was very, very sad. But at the same time, she thought maybe it was okay that her children died when they were 5 and 7 years old. She went home trembling. Tremble means she went home trembling. And then she went home and she sat down on her knees. On her knees means, here's a knee, you sit on her knees. You don't sit on a chair, you sit on her knees. And she prayed to God and she said, oh, thank you, God. I thank you for taking care of my problems, for dealing with my future troubles so kindly. She said, thank you for taking care of my problems kindly. And then she lied down. After 3 days, she was sleeping, and then she died. The end.